If everyone might just make their way forward a bit, I'm going to do my best to not let these pages blow away. We're just waiting for the last lift at the moment, so yeah, please come forward. Is that it? That's it. Okay, I think we've got everyone now. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, members of the media, thanks very much. It's a great turnout today, and we're really pleased that everyone's made the time to be here to celebrate what is really an important milestone in the development of this project, but also for the university and for the region. It really is a pleasure to welcome you to the topping out ceremony today. We've got a few housekeeping matters to deal with, so if everyone has got their mobiles with them, if they can make sure they're turned to silent while the ceremonies are underway, feel free to use those mobile phones to take the pictures. As you'll see, it's a pretty remarkable view from up here. We've had a good induction to the site thanks to Hansen Juncken, so everyone is well briefed in terms of PPE, and whilst we've taken every precaution to make sure that the risks are minimised on site, it is still a construction zone and there are trip hazards, so as we're admiring the view and walking around, just be mindful there are some trip hazards on the ground still. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional land of the Awabakal and the Warramai people, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders both past and present. As I said, today marks a really significant milestone for the university. The construction of the new space facility started some time ago in the planning, and around 15 months ago we were standing on site down here on a slab, which was after the demolition, and it's pretty amazing really in 15 months to be standing at a topping out point. We've got some way to go in terms of opening, but I'm sure you agree that this is quite a remarkable building. And what this building will do for the university and for the region in terms of its research and education objectives will equally be quite remarkable. So the tradition of a topping out ceremony denotes a significant point in the construction of the stage of a building. The erection of the last structural beam, and you'll see to my left, and we will encourage people to sign that, and you can bring your kids and grandkids here to see that you did sign that at some point in the future. And the placement of a tree, and hopefully that tree will remain upright during the course of this proceedings, is symbolic of good luck and growth. And really it is a befitting symbol, as the New Space Initiative will provide opportunities for the long anticipated rebirth of the CBD, providing economic restoration and the creation of a vibrant commercial and educational precinct. At this point in today's proceedings, I think it's really important to acknowledge those that have played a critical role in shaping this project, and it's always a risk in doing that. I think always going to forget someone along the way, but special mention to Lions and EJE, and we've got representatives from EJE here today, which Barney and Anthony and others. Unfortunately, Lions are unable to make it today, but I'm sure we'll be at the opening. Instrumental in the design. What a fantastic design it is. Hansen Juncken, well represented, and have been a pleasure to work with throughout the construction of the build. And APP, who have done a remarkable job. Gillian and Ethan and the team have been fantastic to work with, and great for our IFS team. So speaking of our IFS team, it's really important that I acknowledge the work of Alan Tracy, our Director of Infrastructure, Brian Jones, Damien Burke, Tegan Betts. The whole IFS team has been remarkable throughout this process. Equally, our steering committee, Andrew Parfitt's here somewhere today. I can't pick him in the crowd, but he's chaired our steering committee, Liz Bird. When we open this facility, you'll see the work of Liz around the technology that we will bring through this remarkable facility, and all the others that have played their part on the steering committee. To the Vice-Chancellor and to our members of Council, our Acting Chancellor, Di Allen, for the remarkable support of this project and keeping us honest through the construction phase, making sure this project's brought in on time and on budget, which we're pleased to say we're tracking well with. So thanks to everyone, and those I haven't mentioned, there are many people who've played their role, and I think the state and federal government's contribution to this is a great model. We know how important those co-investment models are and how critical it is to the success of these sorts of projects. So with that having been said, I would like to invite Professor John Lester, the Director of the Wallatuka Institute, to provide a welcome to country to open the ceremonies. Welcome, John.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it is indeed an amazing pleasure to do this vertical land rights acknowledgement of my traditional people and the traditional people of Awabakal and Worimi peoples. I pay my respects to elders both past and present, to any Indigenous people in the audience, and I had a quick look around and I think I may be the first. So that's something that I'm really proud of. What this does is provide enormous scope for Indigenous people to be, as this university does, like no other university, put Indigenous people at the forefront of a number of initiatives they have, particularly in equity. And there's no better acknowledgement than we're overlooking one of our very traditional sites in terms of knobbies. And I'm sure spirits and ancestors from the past are very much behind making sure this facility lives up to the potential that it has. And I again acknowledge the traditional owners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Regretfully, the Chancellor is overseas on holidays, a well-earned holiday, mind you, at this time, and is unable to take part. But he did ask that we send his best wishes for this event and for an eventful day. In Paul's absence and in the Chancellor's absence, please allow me to introduce our acting Chancellor, Ms. Diane Allen, to the stage. Diane is a long-serving member of the University Council, the chair of our Finance Committee, and a well-respected business leader in the community. So please join me in welcoming Di.
Thanks, Nat. Thank you, Nat, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also like to thank Professor John Lester for providing a wonderful welcome to country, and I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Worimi and the Awabakal people, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon to celebrate this exciting milestone for the New Space project. And it's my pleasure to welcome most sincerely a number of distinguished guests. The Honourable Arthur Senadinos AO, Cabinet Secretary and Senator for New South Wales. Mr Scott McDonald, Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter and Central Coast and Member of the New South Wales Legislative Council. Ms Sharon Claydon, Federal Member for Newcastle. Mr Tim Crankenthorpe, State Member for Newcastle, and unfortunately Ms Nuatalia Nelms, Lord Mayor of Newcastle, has joined us for a short time but had to adjourn to attend a citizenship ceremony. And I also welcome representatives from the Hunter Development Corporation and Urban Growth New South Wales. I welcome members of the University of Newcastle Council, the Vice-Chancellor, members of the University's Executive Committee, the representatives from Hanson Yunkin, and all in attendance this afternoon. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your support of the university. Topping out an iconic building such as New Space provides a rare opportunity both to look to the future and to reflect on the prior achievements that have led to this moment. New Space would not be possible without the outstanding foundation of world-class education, research and innovation created at the university over the last 50 years. This facility is built on the work of our staff, students and alumni in driving the university's performance and reputation as a leader in our region and across the globe. It is particularly fitting that we mark this milestone this week, in the same week that the university celebrates another outstanding achievement on the world stage. Earlier this week, the university was announced as being ranked in the world's top 250 universities by the internationally recognised QS World University Rankings. Critical to our rising performance in recent years is the world-class educational experience that we offer our students. New space is a key strategy in future-proofing our position as an international leader in innovative education. In particular, it will provide a base for the university's Faculty of Business and Law to build upon its strong record of attracting bright students from across the world to its outstanding academic programs. Last month, the faculty's business programs received a prestigious and highly sought international accreditation for the American Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, or AACSB. This association is the international accrediting body for business programs and is a beacon for international students wanting to study at the world's best business schools. As fewer than 5% of the world's business programs have earned an AACSB accreditation, our university can take pride in having met the highest international teaching and curricular standards. Alongside existing programs, New Space will allow the university to offer a number of exciting new research and education programs that span emerging areas such as creative industries, entrepreneurship and innovation. These fields will produce Australia's next generation of leaders, creative thinkers and entrepreneurs that will drive economic growth and the development of future industries in our region. We also look forward to the outstanding engagement opportunities that New Space will offer as the cornerstone of the university's education, innovation and business presence in the city. The proximity to local businesses and industry and the collaborative learning, research and social spaces in New Space will facilitate our world-class researchers and students in connecting with industry and the community in Newcastle. The technologies available in the faculty will also allow our staff and students to engage with partners from Australia and across the world. This engagement is critical in ensuring our graduates are job capable and workforce ready. It will also ensure that our research has application and impact for industry and the community, and that the university continues to be a resource for our region. This is particularly important for our institution. We are strongly committed to realising the future of our regions as drivers of economic productivity and magnets for new talent and industries. This landmark facility reflects this commitment in action and demonstrates how the university can be a catalyst for economic, social and cultural transformation in Newcastle. New Space alone will inject $192 million into the region during construction. The Hunter Research Foundation has also estimated that the flow-on economic benefit of New Space for the region will exceed $1.3 billion over the next 10 years, which is a remarkable impact. Of course, we would not have been able to progress this project without considerable support and interest from the university community and from the Australian and New South Wales governments, Newcastle City Council and stakeholders across the region. In particular, I'd like to acknowledge the $30 million investment from the federal government through the Education Infrastructure Fund's Regional Priorities Rounds and the $25 million investment of the New South Wales Government. These generous contributions, along with a $40 million investment by the university, have made this important project possible for our region. I would also like to acknowledge the dedication of the team at Hanson Yuncken, who has seen this building come to life and has brought to us a tremendous milestone. Hanson Yuncken have been working collaboratively with the university to ensure that the construction schedule remains on track and that we have a new space building that will be open for semester 2, 2017. We have appreciated the commitment and the quality of work which we can see delivering an outstanding structure. I also wish to thank the university staff, including Nat McGregor, Alan Tracy, Professor Parfitt, members of the working group, who have ensured that this project has met its key milestones and have provided excellent leadership for the delivery of the project. Once again, thank you all for joining us today and showing your support for the university, and thank you to all that have been involved in the project up to this point. We are delighted with the progress to date and look forward to the next months of construction that will bring us closer to opening this landmark building for our region. Joining us to speak on behalf of the Federal Government, I am delighted now to welcome a distinguished alumnus and long-time supporter of our university, the Honourable Arthur Sinodinos AO, Cabinet Secretary and Senator for New South Wales. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Di, for that, and thank you to John for that welcome to country. I won't keep you too long, we could all be blown away here. But what I will say is, whenever I'm given the opportunity to come back up to Newcastle to participate in a community event like this, I really jump at the opportunity, not only because I'm from here originally and always love coming back here, but I'm also so impressed by the way that this region and this city are developing. And that's a tribute to all of you who are the people who live in this community, who love this community and have a passion for the future of this community. And it's a pleasure and a privilege for the federal government, and I suspect the state government and other stakeholders, that we can assist in realising the sort of opportunities that you're putting together for students not only from this area but from across the world who are coming to programs which are increasingly being recognised as being world class and best in class, and that's a fantastic achievement. And you know, to be up here on level 9 or whatever it is, and the vista you get of Newcastle, not only great in itself, but it's also a reminder in the way Newcastle's developed, the way Honeysuckle Drive has developed, the way the harbours have been cleaned up, the way that new industries are taking root here. 2011, when Lonely Planet rated Newcastle one of the 10 places in the world to visit. Fantastic achievement when you go back, as I can, to the early 80s and early 90s when the steel industry were closing down and we had all those other challenges before us. But this place knuckled down and created a new future for itself. And in having federal and state colleagues here, can I say the commitment to Newcastle and the Hunter in that sense is bipartisan, and the funds that have come out of this education infrastructure fund, which has now been wound up, that was a bipartisan commitment. Those funds were put there some time back, and in fact and the decisions taken around how those funds will be used have been based on regional priorities, and this region has a high priority. It has a university which is recognised as one of the main drivers of growth and development in the area. So from my point of view, I look at the future of this place very optimistically. When I come here, I often say to people, Newcastle should have the aspiration of being a global city, and you can do that with the connectivity we have through transport and communications and all the other ways in which we can link with the rest of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be here. As your Senator for New South Wales, one of my jobs is to help look after you. So complaints, gripes, observations, please, always happy to hear from you and do what we can to make this great region even greater. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Senator Sinodinos, for those excellent words. It's my pleasure to introduce Scott MacDonald, member of the New South Wales Legislative Committee, Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter and the Central Coast. The New South Wales Government have provided unwavering support and been sincerely invested in the estate strategy and the strategy of the university and our broader scope determinations as an innovative leader in higher education and a powerhouse contributor to the regeneration of the Newcastle CBD and the Hunter region. The state has been a tremendous support throughout this project and remains so, and so please join me in welcoming Mr MacDonald to the stage.
Thanks, Steve. And thank you, John, too, for your welcome to country. It's a pleasure to be here. Nat, thank you very much, and like Arthur, I will try and keep it short because that looks like a spinnaker from my old sailing days, so I think that's a hint. I will acknowledge very quickly my parliamentary colleague, Hopalong Tim, and I think Sharon Clayton was here from the federal side of things. It's a bit hard to see with all these hats, and the Lord Mayor, if she's still here. Anybody else? Thank you to the Chancellor. You did very well with those notes. I saw you juggling there, and the Vice Chancellor especially. Look, I think everything's been said. The state contributed 25 million. It was a partnership, and Hunter Development Corporation and Urban Growth very much guided us in those decisions. This comes out of the 2012 Urban Renewal Project. I would just like to say, I think this is just the start, Vice Chancellor. And we've had discussions about this. I think she thinks I'm harassing her or stalking her or something, but we've been talking only this week about what we need to do. Jobs for New South Wales, reinventing the Hunter, getting those new services, getting those new industries. And I look on this sort of development as just the piece of the puzzle. I said to Arthur Sinodinos when I was standing next to him, "Have you got your checkbook?" He laughed at me. Arthur, I wasn't joking, because this morning our Minister for Planning announced that the Vice-Chancellor and Hunter Development Corporation and Urban Growth are now entering into discussions for possibly the next part of the puzzle, the next building, the next part of the precinct. So Arthur, I wasn't joking. That particular fund might have closed, but I'm sure there's some hollow log somewhere. So look, on behalf of the state government, on behalf of Mike Baird, on behalf of everybody in Parliament, it's such a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to the opening. If you'll have me back in the middle of next year, and as I said, Vice Chancellor and the rest of the university community, this is just the beginning. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. I'm sure we will have you back. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jonathan Russell from Hanson Young, and he's our project manager on the job. Jono's the one that we harass, and he's an excellent project manager, and it's been a great partnership. You know, we've really valued the relationship and the collaboration that we've had with Hanson Young. It has been a pleasure, and we hope that continues right through to the end of the project. So at this stage, you know, I'm pleased to report the project is on budget and on time, and they're two critical things for my KPIs, and what are my KPIs are Jono's KPIs. So welcome Jono to the stage, and please say a few words on behalf of Hanson Young. Thank you.
Thanks, Nat. I'd also like to say thank you, John, for your welcome to country, but I do have to tell you that you're not the only Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander here with us today, and you're certainly not in terms of who we've got working on the project, which is something that we at Hanson Young are very proud of within our own team, but also across the whole construction site. So thanks, Nat. Thanks to the Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor and our distinguished guests. And thank you all for taking the time to be with us here to celebrate this occasion at New Space. On behalf of Hanson Young, it's a real honour for us to host this event today. But to be honest, it's just great to get you all here so that you can look around and acknowledge that, yes, we have the best view of any office in Newcastle. And I'm sure the university looks forward to having that shortly as well. It is a great place to come to work, but I have to be honest, it's not always easy. And I'm very proud of and would personally like to thank our Hanson Young project team, our consultants and our contractors for their incredibly hard work in getting this absolute beast of a building to where it is today. Noting, of course, that we still have a lot of hard work to go and KPIs to meet. If you think back to when we were standing just down there somewhere on an old piece of partly demolished concrete, as Nat mentioned, just in May last year, you have to acknowledge that we've come a long way in a short space of time. I remember the words of Nat, the Vice-Chancellor, our Director David Beswick at the time. On that occasion, I took away a sentiment that was a commitment to work together in delivering this project. 15 months later, the structure that you stand on is absolutely the result of those sentiments coming to fruition. The positive and collaborative approach of the University of Newcastle and their representative on this project, APP, have been essential in the successful delivery of this project to date. And I think that collaboration that was there between the governments and university at inception has really flowed through well into the delivery team. So thanks to the university and APP for the ongoing relationship on the project. Thank you all for coming today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time in our office.
Thanks, Jono, and you'll be pleased to know that does mark the end of the official speeches today, and thank you for persevering with being wind blasted at this late hour of the afternoon. thank you again to all of our distinguished guests, Acting Chancellor Diallen, Vice Chancellor, members of Council, members of Parliament and government representatives today. As you can see, we're really proud of this facility. As Scott said, it's a sign of things to come for the university as we go from strength to strength. I invite you to please stay behind for a few photos. That'll happen immediately. The distinguished guests and signing of the beam. People have already been underway with that. And thank you for your attendance. For those that need to leave at the moment, we have got refreshments back at Northumberland House, and would be really pleased if you could stay around and enjoy a few of those with us this afternoon. So thank you again, everyone, and that marks the end today. Thank you.